Okay. Okay, back to it then. So we're going to go into the monthly check-in first. You'll notice we've got two check-in functionalities here. We've got one for your monthlies, which tends to be a bigger piece of work. You're booking in more medication in one go. And then your interim check-in is used for those little bits and bobs that come in throughout the cycle. So if I go into my monthly check-in first. So this warning box that it brings up for me is telling me that there's already a monthly check-in started. This will make more sense when we go through it. So for now, I'm just going to say no to the warning, but we're going to come back to this later on. I'm just going to mute everybody just because there's a little bit of background noise. So if you do want to ask a question, please take yourself off mute, okay? Okay, right. So it's going to ask me what trolley I want to do the booking in for. I can choose to do it for all of the trolleys if I have the whole of the delivery in front of me, or if I was just working on one trolley at a time, I would just choose the relevant one. So I'm just going to choose my Dove trolley. And then it brings me into our monthly check-in screen. So on the left-hand side, I've got the list of my residents that are in the Dove trolley. I've then also got a blank screen here because we're going to start populating the medication that we're booking in this part of the screen. To make a start then, I'm going to have the delivery in front of me, so don't have to do it in any particular order, just whichever resident's bag of meds is first, grab them and then click the plus on the left hand side of their name. So if we do Lisa today, once you press the plus, it expands all of the medications for that resident, and you can see any wavy flags. So if there's anything on there that hasn't been approved yet, you can see all of that, any new tags. So you have all of that information to hand here. Now I'm going to show you, because if you're going to be using the scanners, it makes this process easier, but I'm just going to show you the manual way and then what would happen with the scanner afterwards. So you've got your first box of meds. Let's say it's that Alendronic. If I highlight it, and sorry, I want to double tap it. So if I double tap the Alendronic, it's going to bring up a quantity box. And in this box, it gives us a bit of information. So it's telling us who we're booking in the medication for. It's telling us what the medication is that we're booking in. So you can just counter check against what's on your box. And it's telling us what the current quantity for that medication is. So I know I've already got 28 in, which I know, so that's fine. I'm booking in some more medication. At this point, I'm going to count the medication that's been sent by the pharmacy. And then I'm just going to put in my count in the quantity box. So I've counted 28. I put 28 in that box. And then I'm going to press OK. It then takes it out of this list on the left-hand side and puts it into the list of medications that's being booked in onto the right-hand side. Now, if I was using my scanner, that's the manual way to do it. If I was using my scanner, I would quite simply just get the box of medications, get the scanner, scan the barcode on the box, and it would do that automatically. So it would take it out of that list. It would bring up the quantity box. You would put the quantity in, press OK, and then it puts it over. So it's just easy to grab a box and scan rather than going through and looking for the medication that you need to be highlighting. If you make a mistake, with the quantity that you're putting in, say you accidentally typed 27 or you added an extra number in and it looked like you was adding 287 in, you've got a red cross to the end of the line. If you press that, it just takes it out of your list, puts it back in the list on the left hand side for you to then go back and put it in correctly. So if I do that, double click, 28, okay. And then you just go on to your next medication. So if I go through, put some of these in, we've got 28 digoxin. Humulin I'm going to come back to because it's a fridge line, lactulose. Let's put another 500 in of that. Lorazepam, 28 of those. Paracetamol I'm going to leave, prednisolone I'm going to leave, salbutamol. So with the salbutamol, so remember all of these medications that I've put into the delivery already are tracked medications. All of these ones can be counted. Now my salbutamol doesn't have a track on it because it's an inhaler. If I double tap that one, you see it puts it straight into the list for me. So it's booking it in, but it's booking it in as a package of that medication as opposed to a specific figure. You'll notice that it says quantity received, there's nothing in there because it's just a package, it's not tracked. So that would happen with anything that's not tracked. So creams, anything that you've set up that way in the residence and order screen. Just carry on. I'm going to put 20 those in. And then the warfarin we're going to leave there. So as you're booking in the delivery for this resident, once you've booked everything in that you've got in your hand, in your bag, your delivery bag, it might be that you're left with medication in this list here. And that might be because you've not ordered it because you've got enough. So in the stock cupboard, I didn't order any, so I would expect that to be sat there. My Humulin is a fridge line, so again, I've not been and got that out the fridge yet, so that's why that's sat there. I might run and get that now, or I might come back and do a separate booking in for my fridge lines, and the same with your controlled drug. Now, the controlled drug, we kind of would advise that you do these separate. Now, they normally get delivered separately anyway, so it might be that you would book them in separately, just as normal. But the way, because it's a controlled drug and it wants that witness signature, if I just show you, if I try and book in another 4 patches of this, what we recommend is that you save after every resident. Now, what that's going to generate is a witness login because I've got that controlled drug in there. So I finished booking in for Lisa for now. I'm going to come back to my fridge lines later on. So I'm going to save. Because I've got that controlled drug in there, it's asking me for that witness log. It's going to ask me for that every time I hit save because that controlled drug is sat in this list. So what we would advise is that you do your controlled drug separate so that you don't keep getting asked for that witness log, or do it to the end of the delivery that you're in at the moment. This is going to keep asking me now because I've popped that in. Okay, so once you've done your resident, you just grab your next bag of meds and move on to the next resident. So we're creating a bit of a query list here, because if there was anything in there that you was expecting to be delivered and it's still sat there because you've not counted it in, that would become your query list. We move on to our next resident. So let's go on to Sam. And then you do the same thing. So you either get your scanner, scan his meds, or you can manually do it by double clicking. So put another 4 Lendronic in for Sam. And then you'll notice it starts adding it to the list. So it doesn't take out Lisa because we've saved her. It continues to leave her there. You just create a big list of your delivery that you've got in front of you. Just do the same. You go on to and you carry on through your residence until everything is booked in. Now, like I say, save after every residence just to make sure it's saving what you're doing in case you get pulled away or you lose internet or for whatever reason, you've got that saved. Now, it might be because this is quite a big job to do in some cases, you need to go and deal something whilst you're in the middle of doing this. Now, in order to do that, so you can save everything and come back to it later on and nothing gets changed, you've got a finished later button down at the bottom in the middle. If you click that, it's asking me for that witness log because I've got that controlled drug. Let's just pop that in. Put the right password in there. Okay, so I've come out, that's saved that for me. So I can go and deal with whatever I need to go and deal with, whatever I'm being pulled away to deal with. Once I'm ready to come back and continue that, I'm going to click back on my monthly check-in. And then when I mentioned about that warning earlier, because I'm in the middle of it, I'm going to press yes this time and choose my check in the middle of doing. Just highlight the one that is against your name, press OK, and it takes you back to where you were so you can continue on with your checking in. Okay. Like I say, this is creating a potential query list for you. So you can either, if there's not that much in there, you can either make a mental note of what's left that you need to chase, or there is a report that's generated from this. So once you've booked everything in for the delivery you've got in front of you, you would press finished. If you completely finished, you didn't need to come back to it. You're going to press finished. Again, you can see why we advised that you do this separately with the controlled drugs. Okay, and you've completely finished your monthly check-in, if you wanted a printed version of that query list that we had on the left-hand side, you would come to reports, you would come to stock management, and then you've got a monthly delivery report. And then what you can do is filter down. So you choose your login booking in that you've just done, that one. And then you can filter to show what was not checked in, which will be what that query list was, or you can do the opposite, you can show what was checked in. And then you just press view report and it will give you a list of all those ones that weren't checked in. A lot of them, like I say, you're probably going to know because you didn't order them, but there might be a few queries on there. Okay. Essentially, that's your checking in. Quite an easy task. Like I say, your monthly checking in is for those big deliveries that you get,